And when it comes to boards and you say, well, some people need to have plugins, I disagree. If the product is reasonable that's coming off the stage, and it should be because they're the people playing it, they wrote the song, they're now playing the song, it should be, they should be representing the song in a reasonable fucking shape, manner or form.
Right.
Therefore, all I should be doing is making it louder.
I can't argue with you at all. At all.
Other people, I'm sure, have got their own opinions. I mean, there's too many kids these days, or people, that have absolutely no idea what a real soundboard is.
I know that you're right. I don't remember who I was talking to about it. Monty Lee Wilkes. And he said that he was out on a local gig in Minneapolis. I don't remember who it was for, but somebody for a support act. They were on an analog console. Kid came out, saw an analog console, and freaked out.
Wouldn't have a clue what to do with it.
Because he had no idea. He'd never been on one before, and he didn't know what to do.
I'm not going to turn around and start picking on people, but you know, half these kids that are engineering bloody country acts these days, they're just video game players. They don't know what a soundboard is. They've never sat behind an XL4 and done anything with it.
Yeah.
We'll never know what an XL4 was. You know, if you saw it in the case, I think it was a grand piano. You know. Seriously, so you've got to go back and keep yourself in touch with reality every now and then. And I just think that these boards, or Digigo products in general, I think are really good product. They're solid and they sound good, and that's the bottom line.
Well, you can't argue that.
My argument has always been, before you make a decision on what you're going to use, plug a microphone into it. Plug something in that you know how it should sound. Go and grab hold of a 58, plug it in and go, hello. You know, how does the board sound to you?
Do you think that, because I see, if I see a split out there, the guys who are, well, just, you know, not to pick on anybody, but just as an example, the guys who are big profile guys tend to be guys who started or still do a lot of studio work. So they're approaching it from a recording engineer standpoint. The guys who still understand that it's about making the thing louder and everything are guys who've been live. They're live guys.
Tough to comment on. I mean, once again, everyone of their own. I specialise in live audio. That's what my job is, and I love doing it. I don't like to sit in the studio.
I hate the studio too.
Like going in there and listening to a snare drum for 3 hours at a time.
It makes me crazy.
You know, and I don't like revisiting things. You know, I like doing one take things. You're on the spot. Let's get it done.
Right.
Have I done studio work? Yes, I have. I haven't really enjoyed it.
Right.
You know, I actually get very frustrated.
I do too. I can take it for a couple of hours, and then I want to take somebody's head off.
Pretty much. You know, it's just I think the reason that people talk about.
Be right with you. Be back on for you.
You just made a comment that people that come out of the studio play around with the profiles. I think people that want to play in the studio might play with the profiles.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
You know, I don't think there's any studio engineers that have come out here and really done any sort of memorable work. You know,
there's been some people who started in the studio who became really good live engineers.
I'll agree with that.
But it takes time because they're very different. They're very different disciplines, and it requires a different approach.
Definitely.
And everything else.
It's just